Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. In our video, we're going to be discussing something that many people aren't giving a thought to. And this is ranging from many people from Lark Davis to a lot of these other guys, and this is just something that's been on my mind, and I'm going to cover it with you exactly to why Bitcoin can, not just Bitcoin, but crypto in general, can actually start to crumble here in the next year or two. We're looking at a massive crash, something that is unseen, and it's not going to help your worries anytime soon. So support our channel, hit a like, hit subscribe, and follow us for more updates and what's going on, and thoughts and opinions as well. Let's get started. So what we're talking about exactly right here is that miners are mostly about 35% based inside of the United States. Now, why does this matter? This matters because what we're looking at is a huge, tremendous energy crisis. We're seeing things all across Europe at this point crumbling. The financial structure of things is completely being changed. What do you mean by that, Brent? Well, I mean precisely that Europe is starting to ration heating. They're starting to ration different services. They're all getting ready to kind of move inside of this. And what does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, as you know, the cost of actually maintaining these servers, maintaining all of this, is based on energy price, right? Now, let me put a thought to your head just for a moment. If certain structures aren't working, if you can't run your heat for a certain amount of time, for example, during the winter, certain gas, petroleum is not even, they're kind of using all of the reserves. What do you think that means for everything, right? That means the higher the price goes. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that means that crypto will go up, right? Yes, in a way that it will. It will go up for the cost of actually, mining these coins, taking these coins into effect, will go up. But the downside of that is how many coins will actually rough the ride to that. Good point, right? So the thing is that, yeah, some of these higher funded coins will survive, but the majority of your altcoins can crash. And we're going to go over that in just a moment. Everybody's telling at this point, I've been doing some research, and we're going to kind of go over some more with you right now. And this is why it's important to kind of stay tuned, right? So Bitcoin, if you're looking right now on my screen right here, we're looking at Bitcoin. Currently, today, October 23rd, it's 19,140. I mean, we're talking, November of last year, right, is 61,000. I mean, it dropped like twice the amount. More, honestly, a third, right? So does that mean anything? Yeah, it does. I keep hearing people saying, what, 13, 14,000, 16, and the area that I'm looking precisely at, right? And of course, if you follow along of any videos, this is not a definite line, but more of an area to kind of give a thing. There's nothing definite inside of any kind of trading. I don't care who you are. This is a key point to pay attention to. This is that point, and when you probably only see like 2 touches here, which you're probably invalidating, but when we go from the monthly to the daily, for example, you see quite more, and let's go there. So we're talking about between, what, 16,000, right, and 15,000, which isn't too far away. But when we kind of pull back a little bit, you're going to see more of that kind of touching base in some important areas. Now, this is where they're telling, right around in this area, right, because it has more than one touch as far as the support goes, right? That's still not our key point. That is not what I'm thinking. I don't see it going to that level. However, the major one that we're looking at is going to balance in between 12,000 and 10,000, and it can stop there if we're lucky. Right, it could touch back to 8,000 again. What they're telling about as well, I've heard 8,000, 6,000 as it was a couple of years ago. Now, not just Bitcoin, but as well as Ethereum can do this as it follows Bitcoin. Right now, again, when this happens, right, you're talking about the prices of going up. Prices are going up, of course, with the energy sector. Well, you have to think of it in a different way, such as who's buying, who's maintaining this volume? at this level. If you can't afford to keep your apartment, your house warm, you're taking the bus now, are you really going to be buying crypto at this point? Even when it's skyrocketing? And what happens when there is a massive set of fear of being inside of any market and the sell-off begins, triggering stop losses, and it continues to plummet at that moment, right? I'm not saying it's always going to be low, right? But the idea is that it's going to plummet more, triggering fear, pushing it down further into the point. Of course, great buying opportunities, right? I mean, everybody wants to buy Bitcoin at 6,000. Well, guess what? You're probably going to have that. 10,000 even, right? Good entry point, but with what money? We're talking about what's going on in the market right now. The energy market, we're looking at, honestly, food shortage. Jordan Peterson had even made a video about the current situation that's going on. Even he's mentioning a few key points, but it's not just with anything to do with investment, but moments that you should pay attention to because it will affect the markets. Right? Let's take a look at Ethereum, for example, right? Ethereum, I mean, we're talking about 900 can go. We're only $400 away from that. I mean, we've seen $400 changes. I mean, from what? July. It was a $400 in that month. It was almost a $400 change right there, just in 1 month. That's not far. Things can take a turn, right? So we not only do we have the conflict in Ukraine, but we're also seeing a shift with China. They've just changed a lot to do with they're very anti-American at this point. These guys that they're putting. So this regime's changing. Everything is changing in this moment to really kind of push. The dollar is exiting the market at this point. It is. Now, many optimistic people love to say, yeah, that's great. Now we can go to crypto. That's not going to go in that route. It's not going to go just here, right? Let me put it in perspective, right? Let's jump over to here, right? Just oil price, for example, kind of give here. Energy, this site, oil prices predictions are between $65 and $380. If you're extremely optimistic, $65 is perfect. So there's a big variation from there. So that recession, it can be as high as $300 a barrel, and supply concerns over this war is what they're telling, right? And uncertain OPEC output. What they cut 2 million barrels in one day, or after one meeting, right? Saudi Arabia. Not just that, but they're leaving and going to BRICS. Now, what does that mean? So if they're moving away from the dollar, for example, right, that puts strains on the American economy even more. Now, when this strain on this economy, and it starts pushing this as well, you're going to see panic on the streets more. Can you imagine $400 a barrel? Just imagine that point. People are ready to fight already over prices. We're seeing this in France. People are fighting on the streets. Germany, they're outraged as well, fighting, right? Bank of America says that it could go higher or actually plunge depending on what happens in the next global markets. Now, how I'm looking at things, I'm not, I don't see a super big positive output with everything that's going on. You have to look at everything from military, from the markets, from this war, from this escalation, from that escalation. All of those are going, right? Now, going back to Bank of America, it warned that if sanctions push Russian oil production below $9 billion a day, that oil prices could actually go over $150 a barrel, right? And of course that will happen, right? Unless the only thing that I can think of that would push lower is if Europe actually just done away with the sanctions completely after enough stress and enough push coming from the people, right? Now, they also forecast that Brent will stand around $100 a barrel in 2023. OPEC group disagrees with Fitch and forecasted on Tuesday, lost it. Tuesday, that its monthly oil report that conflict in Ukraine will not escalate further in the second half of the year, and any changes in fossil fuel exports from Russia to Europe will not cause material energy shortages for the Eurozone over that period. Now, S&P Global Ratings forecast that Brent will reach $106 in 2022 and $90 a barrel for 2023. right? Short-term energy outlook said that expect Brent for 104 and almost 94 in 2023. And bearish Citigroup cautioned that crude oil could collapse to $65 a barrel, right? But where is this? It's all speculation. Don't read this and just think, oh, well, it could. You're right, it could in the perfect situation, but that's not what we're looking at. Now, again, that question comes back. Why does any of this have to do with crypto? Servers, transaction histories, right? Look at what we're seeing with Terra Luna when it crashed, right? Of course, fear, you can Ponzi scheme, rug pulls, whatever you want to call it, right? It's still not there, and it's not climbing up. I mean, there's still several zeros after the dot, right? Which is not good. But let's just take a look, right? So let's just say it goes at $300 a barrel. Energy is outrageous. I mean, you're looking at $1,000 energy for cooling in the summer. People are using energy, costs oil, right? In the winter, even if you can say, oh, well, it's just winter, or oh, it's summer, or whatever. It's the same point. The oil is being used. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're looking at very hot summers and very cold winters at this point, right? So oil goes up to $400 a barrel. People are running machines, the servers, they're mining, right? The hash rates are going up. But let's take a look at what you're looking at right here. This is Bitcoin mining by country of this year. 35% of Bitcoin is actually mined. Now, this is just Bitcoin. Now, you have to think, what affects Bitcoin affects everybody. I don't care what company it is, right? Now, the US, 35.4% major point, right? Canada, 9.5%, right? Let's just call it 10 to be safe, right? 10. So we have 45%. We're very well already at 50%. Then you have Germany at almost 5%, right? Now, these are where, if you think about it, Germany, the United States, and Canada will be hit by oil prices very strong. And Ireland. Ireland will be hit by this, right? I'm not pulling oil. Iran's not going to be a problem. Maybe if we're lucky, we can see that they're going to have an output even higher. Doubt it, right? The United States is #1 consumer of oil, right? And Europe. So, and they're under sanction as well, and they're even sanctioning them even more so because of this. Now, you might see a jump in Malaysia. That's a big possibility. But can you? The United States has no law restricting you for mining yet. So this is something to pay attention to. This is something very, very deep inside of what can we expect. Are you asking yourself, what is it going to be? Where's it going to be at this point, right? I mean, when we're looking here, the top 10 even, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, USD, BNB, we have Ripple, Binance, Cardano, Solana. Solana already hit an outage. They're going through outages left and right. They're down by 0.87 today, right? I'm sorry, for the hour. 24 hours. It's a little bit different. It's what, 57%. My apologies, right? All right, yeah, 57. These coins, right, that we're talking about, who has real value here? And let's be honest, everybody wants a real value. What's going on? That's why we call them shit coins, right? We call them pump and dump coins. Now, why do we call them pump and dump coins? Why? What makes them so useful to buy? Dogecoin, for example, a meme coin. Why? What use does it give? Leave it in the comments. Tell me with each one that you know has a use in practical daily and practicality, right? I'm going to cover a video here soon about the most useless and the most useful coins, but I want to know what you think. What are your opinions? What are the most useful? What is the most beneficial, right? Ethereum has quite many uses, and like I said, if you subscribe and you follow, you'll see this new video that I'm going to cover. And we're going to go over why Ethereum is very, very cool. Now, I've always cared about Ethereum. I've always thought that they were very cool. And not just because it's like, oh, well, it's a cool coin, it's #2. So in this video, we're going to cover why it's so important to actually probably invest in Ethereum, right? Maybe wait to $1,000, maybe wait to $500, right? Maybe $100. We don't know. So that being said, so do follow our channel and watch out for this video. Of course you'll see the most recent or the most valuable coins, the most devalued coins, so forth and so on. So what about XRP? What are they offering? Ripple, they're in the middle of a lawsuit. Does that mean anything? No, not really. What value are they giving to you? Every investor wants some kind of value. When you have to think, when somebody creates a product, when they're going to try to take funding for these products, they want to know exactly, what is this for? What am I going to get? If I give you $100 million to kind of push this marketing and production, whatever, what are they getting from this? That's the big conflict with crypto, right? Like, what are we getting from crypto? What does Bitcoin provide? What does Ethereum provide that's different from Bitcoin? What does Ripple provide that's different from Ethereum, right? What about Solana? What do they do, right? Tell me in the comments. I already know, and I'm going to tell you that these coins that don't provide anything, especially we're talking about SHIB coin, is it useful? AVAX, gaming. Where are we going to be at with gaming? Is it going to continue? Is it going to collapse? Where's the market going to be? Are we going to be struggling for food? What about Litecoin, right? Ethereum Classic, even. What about Algorand? These are some big ones to watch out for. Algorand, Near Protocol, right? Are you holding these right now? AVAX, are you holding AVAX? And I was a big pusher for AVAX. Of course, I didn't recognize that there's so many problems were going to be coming. But need to understand, what will they provide in the new world that we're coming to, right? We're looking at Venezuela, big oil producer. Where's it joining? BRICS too. Saudi Arabia, BRICS. What is BRICS tied with? China, Russia, right? Who's the oil producers here? What's being produced, right? And why is that even? Why should you even care about that at this point, right? You're living your life, you're not paying attention. Well, because it's going to affect the entire world. The dollar is getting moved away from. Not only, I mean, the dollar's strong. People argue, well, it's strong. You know, it's strong, Brent. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, it's strong. For how long? It's a bubble. So the more countries that are moving away from the dollar, and they're moving into a product-based trade with each other, right? The dollar's become useless, right? These countries that the United States has, well, let's say bullied, for example, or they sanctioned, when they move from this, they're not going to want to do business, right? And if they do, and they're going to do this in their own rules, of course, where will the price go? You think Iran has the best interest of American oil producers and the citizens? Don't think so. What about Venezuela after so long of being in sanctions as well? You think they're going to sell it for $50 a barrel? 60? You think even 70? Especially when the demand, when they can take 300, 200 a barrel? Build their country that's been neglected for so long? Denied? I don't think so. And this is the thing, when these energy prices do go up. What about these coins here? Yeah, they'll go up. Of course they'll go up. But who's going to have money to buy them? They only go up when people are investing. What if you don't have money? And I'm not talking about some of the elite people, some of the higher class. I am speaking precisely on the everyday people that matter, right? You and I. So, of course, there'll be some millionaires, billionaires that will invest and push, kind of manipulating the market. But you and I, are you going to buy? Well, I remember talking about a very small percentage. They call it the 1%, right? The 99%. Do you think 1% is really going to change the market so much? And if they do, if you can pay, for example, if you can buy one Bitcoin at, let's say, $100,000, like everybody wants it to go to, if you can buy just one, and I know you can buy less, but can you buy that? Does it make sense for you when it's hanging out at 100 or 95,000? Right? Does that make sense? Are you making money for a couple $100 investment? Can you even pay for it? I mean, in the United States, I know in the southern, the southeast, onions are even for a pound of onions, or 1 kilogram is like $7 for onion, for an onion. And people are having a hard time. They're not thinking about investments. They're thinking about keeping food on their table. What investments? Right? So you're going to be looking at a very few amount of crypto left, a washout, if you would, a cleansing. Who's going to stay? Now, you think XRP has the funding to stay on top during this hard time, to keep pushing, to keep moving forward? I doubt it. What about SHIB? What about Tron, Polkadot, Matic? Right? Let me know in the comments. Argue with me a bit. Right? I just wanted to go over this and kind of put a little insight of what's about to happen. And you don't see this. They're saying, oh, well, yeah, everything's going to crash and burn. I don't think it's everything's going to crash and burn, but I think it's going to be a big change in that 95% of crypto will actually be liquidated. It doesn't make sense to have 4,000 coins that provide nothing, right? You can buy some coins and play a game just based on that, right? But does it give you any value? Any trading value? Yeah, of course, you play this game, you're playing the game, you put $5, $10, you buy a few thousand coins just to use on the game, plus a fee, right, of buying this. So you're paying to play the game, but wouldn't it be just the same for the dollar? Yeah, it doesn't make any difference, right? So, what's the point here? Let me know. What do you think? But what about something like Ethereum? What do they do? What are they going to give you for your dollar that it's going to decide if you eat or not, right? So, like I said, leave a comment. Follow us for the video for the most valuable coins. Realistically. Not what some, fantasy that is given up, to the moon, don't buy this. Don't buy this hype. Be realistic. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. What are you going to do in this moment? And that's going to predict where we're moving in the future. Alright guys, thank you for joining me. Didn't mean to be such a Danny Downer on your parade, but I did want to share with you. Subscribe, drop a comment, let us know, and I will see you in our next video.